I am Nathan Pinheiro-Smith, self-proclaimed Unity game dev, and let me get a little closer here. You know, whisper something nice into your ear.
Solo, indie, RPG, procedural generation, handcraft, open world, perpetual world, sandbox. Subscribe. Souls-like. Choices matter. Single-player experience. Multiplayer experience. PvE.
Visual novel.
So, you said something about a game? Then I did. But first, who am I? If you missed it, you can check out the introduction here. Sorry, I mean here. But in short, I've been building a game for 2 years. A perpetual RPG where your character is not the chosen one. Not a chosen one. Sometimes not even chosen at all. You kinda just get what's left, really. You're just one person. Sometimes a half. Dwarf. And when you die, and you will die, you play as the next person. Your son, brother, mother, sister, daughter, second cousin, twice removed, once by force, once with forceps. Someone who will inherit your grudges and your terrible life choices. This is perpetual gameplay. Your character dies, but the world keeps going, keeps turning. The wars you started, blood still being shed upon the fields of honorable battle. The alliances that you made, still standing or crumbling spectacularly. The guy who killed your grandfather, your grandson is still hunting him down 3 generations later. It's the brutality of Kenshi meets the dynasty of Crusader Kings, meets the tactics of Mountain Blade, meets the random plots of RimWorld, held together by a distressing amount of pleading with my laptop, 42 daily prayers to Brackies, and an alarming amount of violated principles of good software design. I don't have a game yet. Let's go and make one. Welcome to the journey. So, multi-faction battles. Not just the simple us versus them, but the chaotic everyone hates everyone, computer melting kind. I mean, why do most games fail at this? It's so easy, right? Right? Wrong. So, let's see why. So, as I said, multi-faction battles. The thing that's currently trying to suck my soul like some kind of dementor. Now, most games, pretty straightforward. Player, ally, enemy, neutral, Halo, Doom, Half-Life, Minecraft, clean, readable. Boring. Exactly. Simple to understand. But RPGs, simulation games, they can get a little spicy. Personally, I was heavily inspired by Kenshi, which uses a reputation-based faction system. Each faction has their own relationships with other factions, and this determines who kills who. Simple. It was not that simple. You can see this on paper. Some games which seem to have multi-faction combat. Mountain Blade Bannerlord, Total War, Crusader Kings 3, Stellaris, and yes, I've played all of these extensively. Hundreds. Thousands of hours watching little digital people stab each other while I take notes like some kind of deranged war. Voyeur. Yes, thank you, yes. My wife has been incredibly supportive of this, which is good, because I'm not playing games, I'm doing research. Only works if they actually believe you. Thankfully, she does, and actively encourages more digital stabbing. But here's the problem with these games. When actually applied in combat, they revert back to simple diplomacy. Player and enemy, us and them. Total War Warhammer, battle begins, it's still us and them. 2 sides facing over a line drawn in the sand. Bannerlord, same thing. Stellaris, Crusader Kings 3, you can't even control the battle. It just resolves as a simulation. You smash your armies together, run the numbers and pray to RNGesus and Lucifer. But Kenshi is different. Anyone can fight at any time. The battles are still simple. You still smash forces together. But you have a little local control. You can move the characters from enemy to enemy, pulling them out of fights, choosing targets dynamically. There's some form of actual tactics, multi-sided combat that most games just don't do. But us, we're gonna take this concept much, much further. Imagine Total War Warhammer, but the battle isn't a closed instance, no separate, isolated arena. The battle exists as long as it's being fought. Anyone can enter and leave at any time. Multiple armies, multiple factions, all fighting simultaneously, each forming their own formations, holding their own ground, but ready to handle multiple fronts, because you never know which new armies entering the battle will be enemies or allies. You don't just have two sides, you have an evolving battlefield where every army constantly evaluates who is hostile, who is allied, who should I ignore, who left the fucking toilet seat up again, moment by moment. My first approach, multi-faction chess. Every soldier would pathfind across the battlefield like pieces on a chessboard, calculating routes from cell to cell. I would use a pathfinder, basically help characters figure out where to walk around obstacles, probably a star, or better yet, since the battlefield would be constantly changing, D-star light. Sounds smart, right? Right? So what's the problem? Scale. I don't intend for battle to resolve as numbers. I want tactics to matter in every battle, whether you are there or not. So these calculations wouldn't happen for a single battle. They would happen across the entire world for every battle all the time. Even with naively optimistic optimization, of which I am categorically not capable of, that kind of continuous pathfinding simply isn't feasible. My computer would file a restraining order against me.
So instead,
Anchors, version 2.0, now with naval warfare and emotional damage. Each faction participating in a battle has an anchor, a central point that represents the army's tactical focus. It's not a commander, it's not a physical object. Think of it as an invisible flag that the army is constantly trying to rally around. Except that the flag constantly keeps moving and occasionally makes regretful decisions. Army formations, things like square and wedge formations, don't exist as rigid, fixed formations on the map. They exist as dynamic, movable shapes relative to the anchor. Think of it like a flock of birds in formation, migrating to different countries, instead of gracefully swooping through the air in perfect harmony. It's a bunch of rabid, armed people trying to aggressively maintain their minimum personal hygiene distances while chasing an invisible point that just won't stop moving. One person isn't calculating the optimal route around every other person.
that way lies madness in fires of CPU.
Instead, everyone's looking at the anchor, going, where's the flag going? And shuffling accordingly, like a very violent, very confused game of follow the leader. The anchor itself moves deliberately. It looks at the big picture. Where are the other flags? Are we losing badly? Is that third army we forgot about suddenly charging from the left? What is the meaning of life? And makes these high-level tactical decisions. It will advance towards victory, retreat from defeat, shift sideways when things get weird. It's doing the group thinking so that the individual soldier doesn't have to contemplate the existential horror of their disastrous tactical situation. Am I gonna die today? Probably, but let's focus on formation space and Gary. Let's move a little away from Tom. There we go. Alan is dead. Okay, scooch over a little now. Instead of every soldier looking at every other soldier, which would be thousands of calculations per second and would result in my laptop experiencing what must be the utter
Bliss of total thermic meltdown.
Only the anchor needs to think strategically. Individual units just worry about local movement. Am I too close to Gary? Is the anchor moving? Should I shuffle left? Did I leave the stove on? Should I worry about that rash in my... Simple questions, cheap to compute. This means that you're no longer simulating multi-faction chess where every piece is thinking about every other piece. You're simulating a handful of flags, each of them the eye of its own personal tornado, pulling their soldiers around them like gravitational fields made of poor decisions and questionable life choices. And here's the beautiful part. Because anchors are faction-specific, not side-specific, each faction gets its own anchor. Not all allies share one. You can have as many competing tactical centers as you want in the same space. 3 armies fighting in the same field. 4, 7, 42! Okay, maybe not 42. We would need dots for that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Future video alert. If you want to be ready for when that comes out, subscribe and click the bell notification to check that out when that comes out. All right, sorry for the shameless insertion is now complete. They can overlap, collide, accidentally occupy the same tactical position while hating each other, but not at war. Disengage when things go south or reposition independently. The battle never collapses into this boring us versus them binary. It stays chaotic, messy, exactly like fictional warfare should be, except with less paperwork and more procedural generation. So, if I want to sound smart at a game design conference, instead of simulating thousands of autonomous agents performing global pathfinding calculations, I simulate a few tactical centers and let the units orbit that intent. Or, translated from pretentious to human, the flag thinks, the soldiers follow, my laptop survives another day. So how do we demonstrate this? We need a test case, a proof of concept, preferably one that involves poor decision making and excessive amounts of poetry